Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Michael, one of the owners of Game Break Sports Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you got started in the sports podcast Game Break?
Yeah, sure. Me and about all the other hosts and everything, we got started about a month ago. We all knew each other from college. We were buddies and just getting to know each other. And we caught up recently, and we're just like, hey, we all like sports. We're very opinionated on our opinions and stuff too. So we're like, we should make something that has the perspective of fans, especially. It's coming from, we're so passionate about, teams that we root for. We want us, something a little bit more biased in our discussions and topics and stuff like that too. So I thought that was a good idea, and we just went from there.
What are some things that you cover in your podcasts?
Some of the things we've covered so far, we range from mostly we've covered NFL and NBA stuff, but we've been branching out to doing NHL and college sports as well. Just recent news, thoughts, opinions. I've recently started a section of articles too, just reviewing sports themed movies and documentaries myself.
That's so amazing. How is the process like analyzing sports documentaries?
It's pretty well because my background is writing about film first and foremost, and it's because but I'm more of a newer sports fan, so it's interesting to rewatch. For example, to watch The Last Dance or some of the 30 for 30 documentaries and seeing the perspective of how the topic was featured. For example, if it's more biased or more clear cut of the message, seeing both sides of the story and everything. And I don't know, it's really good to see that because it adds a little more of a challenge for me, especially because I don't have much experience that, plus you learn something new while you're watching those things too.
Was it was it hard to analyze The Last Dance because there were so many parts to it?
A little bit, but it helps. Like I with the how I write my reviews and stuff like that, I always write out a full list first. And with The Last Dance, that was a little bit longer than most lists I've written up, but I managed to process it, just get most of the more important bits out, and get my thoughts out after that, which wasn't too bad.
What are some things that y'all have accomplished overall?
Overall, we're still a newer show. I feel like we managed to get a pretty decent listener base with our podcast recently. We've averaged pretty well on Spotify and Apple Podcasts especially. And I just think we're just growing with that right now because we have a bunch of guys working on the social media and that never stops, just getting all the attention, the engagement, and putting out quality content for everyone to consume.
How do you find your interviewees?
I actually haven't been in any interviews for the show, but mostly is to do personal or networking connections, especially hey, I know someone who is involved in this, and it's the game of dominoes after that.
What are some go on?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just like most of the guys I've heard we interviewed so far are the nicest people, and they're always willing to listen and answer questions, stuff like that. Yeah.
What are some future plans for Game Break Sports?
Right now, we're planning on branching out and starting another series of podcasts with one of our hosts, Troy. He wants to do stuff just covering specifically just college sports and discussions on that. I'm hoping to branch out as well with just the film section as well and call it the film room, but we'll see on that part myself. And right now, just building our fan base, especially reaching out to other shows, doing collaborations, just getting our own name out there as well.
For Troy and his podcast branching out, talking about college sports? Is he looking to do more like the incident with paying college athletes and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Just stuff like the change in like the climate or what's going on with college sports as a whole, whether or not it's happening this year due to the pandemic, or even and especially if new recruits come in, walk out, and he especially wants to talk about like smaller universities as well. For example, we're from the University of North Texas, and they're Division One, but we will never hear them on ESPN or anything like that. So he wants to talk and interview with like players and staff from small universities that still have a pretty decent, healthy fan base as well.
And for you, for branching out, are you looking to do more like film analysis, like John Gruden does with the quarterbacks?
Oh, I wish. Just like I said, just talking about sports films and documentaries in general. Maybe I'll analyze football footage and stuff in the future, but that's going to take a little bit more research.
What are some future plans overall for Game Break Sports?
I think our main focus right now, because we're still brand new, just building up a fan base right now, and just making a consistent schedule of coming out with content stuff. Because we're still guys that have jobs and just working, so we're just gonna keep a balance right now of the show and life in general.
What advice would you give upcoming sports podcasts looking to get into the sports podcast business?
Well, that's a good question. I guess similar to my answer of the last question, just remember to keep a balance in life and working on the show in general, because sometimes you get overwhelmed, get lost sometimes, but overall with the good amount of support out there and stuff like that, we should be able to be just fine and just keep building up slowly, because nothing comes right away. You gotta make sure you're patient and still keeping the quality just as good. Yeah.
Where can my listeners find Game Break Sports on social media?
All right, on social media we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our username should be at Game Break Sports, and yeah, that should be pretty good right there. And
Are you on Apple and Spotify?
Yes, we are. We're on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor.
What are the Apple, Spotify, and Anchor's username for my listeners to find you?
Of course. We're just called the Game Break Podcast, and our emblem should be the same as on our fan page.
Thank you again for your interview, and best of luck in the future with Game Break Sports. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for your interview.
Thank you for having me. All right, you have a good one, man.